Dealing with the huge emotion of anger in teens can be so challenging. It can be frustrating for a parent, and sometimes you can feel helpless. Well, know that you're not alone. So let's talk about what are some things that you can do. But first of all, how can you understand what's happening underneath the surface? Now, for teens, it's important to understand, first of all, there's a biological reality that you need to understand. And I know you've heard about this, most likely you have, that the prefrontal cortex has not developed. That is super important. You don't want to just gloss over that. See, the amygdala is firing, this emotional center is firing at such a high level. And what happens in the teen years, this fully developed emotional center becomes hypersensitive, hyper-attuned, hyper-aware of the environment around them. So your teenager is much more aware than they've ever been of the environment around them. That means what my peers think about me. Am I doing good enough? Am I good enough? Am I lovable? Do my parents even know what they're talking about? Maybe it's failure. Maybe it's something someone said. They're hyper attuned and hypersensitive to that. And what they're trying to solve is, do I belong? Am I competent at things? Do I have worth? Do I feel a sense of worth? Do people think about me? And then the other one to that is, do I have autonomy? So that's more the social side. So the first one's biological. They have this hypersensitivity. They have big emotions that all funnel into the anger one. And that could be maybe they feel insecure. Maybe they feel left out, maybe overwhelmed, they're just tapped out, maybe they're tired, maybe they're in a place of just not knowing where they fit in or where they're headed professionally or those. So there could be a lot of stress that's hitting them. Those are all biological realities that are hitting them from an emotional standpoint. And then there are hormones. There's testosterone for boys and hormonal changes for girls. And now girls are hitting their period. And during those times, there's a change in their brain structure during that time of the month. And boys tend to go through hormonal ups and downs and flows, just like girls do, but in a different pattern. So all those are biological realities that can create an angry response. Another one biologically can be an addiction. There can be drug use or other type of addiction happening. Maybe it's pornography, and it's creating a rewiring, a changing of the brain in the sense that they feel less regulated because of the drug or because of the addiction. They're hiding so many things, and so it creates this reactivity when people are responding to them. So realize that as a parent, you just need to understand the anger is not personal, it may be coming from that biological side. Now, on top of that, I've mentioned the social side. That one, you need to address that with compassion as a parent. This is one thing you can do, is look at what may be happening with your teen emotionally and socially as they're trying to connect with others, trying to make sense of what other people think of them, because they have this perception that maybe someone thinks poorly of them or has said something about them that they are upset about, and then you're putting a rule or a boundary at home, and they're reacting to that. Realize that for teens, anger can come from that reaction. Another one is they could be reacting to a controlling tone of voice. Research has shown that a controlling tone of voice from a parent can be quite triggering to a teen's perception and even just the receiving of the information. And it's just that tone that they're reacting to, because again, their brain is hypersensitive to that. Now, what's interesting with this is when a teen is angry, it can be triggering to you as a parent. Let me tell you about a family that I worked with several years ago. It was very eye-opening to me as a therapist. There was this teen that came in. He was a super strong guy and had an anger issue. The parents said, man, our son is struggling with anger, and we definitely need help with him. Can you work with him? And I said, well, let's look at the whole family system to figure out what is behind that anger. There's always a story behind the anger. So a teen boy came in, and I got to know the parents. The parents were super kind. They were nice. Both Christian parents, loved each other, great environment. But this intense boy was a leader personality. He was a go-getter. He was an athlete. He was so disciplined. and also social. He had friends all over the place and knew how to network with others. His parents were more the peacemaker types. They weren't as driven as he was. They were afraid to correct him. They were afraid of his big emotions, so they didn't necessarily correct many of his behaviors. They just were going, man, don't get so angry. And this teen boy said, man, I'm so upset at my parents because they're afraid of me. They won't tell me what to do or what not to do. And I'm so upset at them. And so it wasn't what the parents expected was at the core of his anger. He wanted to be guided, and he wanted his parents to be okay with him having big emotions and to not be afraid of that, but to step in and to want to know more deeply what is happening behind his passion. He was a passionate teen, so for him, it was all about competition and going after it. You may have some teens that are just naturally, temperamentally wired to have a strong reaction towards things, and that could be that anger side. So realize there are different temperaments in your home, and anger can show up differently. It can be passive aggressive, it can be in words, it can be aggressive just physically. All of those are angry reactions and have a story behind them. So with this family, I helped the parents learn how to talk with this young man that had big anger issues in a way that was helpful for him. And the first one was for them to remain calm inside of them. See, when he was angry, their alarm system would go up, and the way they handled that is they got quiet or they avoided the whole thing. So staying calm for them would be stay calm and press in. Approach him, talk to him. It's not a threat. It's not something that it's not personal. There needs to be some understanding and some guidance there. Now, you may be a parent that's intense. You might be triggered by that anger from your teen. In that case, being calm and having that psychological flexibility, that's adaptability, the first trait of the 7 traits of effective parenting. That means adjusting and figuring out what might be happening in my son or my daughter's brain. They're showing anger. That's simply a signal of something deeper. And you can say, hey, help me understand, or help me see a little more deeply. I can tell you're angry, and you're communicating that in your whole body and the way you're talking. I want to know the unspoken words. What's below all that? I want to know you. Help me understand. Those are powerful words with a teen. And then listen. You don't have to correct everything. This is a long game of teaching your teen how to handle this big emotion. And it's not going to be in just one lesson, so don't feel the pressure of that. Listen in, and as they're sharing what may be the cause, you may have the impulse to want to correct and guide in that moment. No, just take it down. Maybe you write things down as they're sharing all that. Know that your teen is going from known to a bunch of unknowns. They have this fear of just all the unknowns that are out there, and that can be what career am I going to have, and they're finding out that there are new things to explore, things that they had not learned as a teen in your home. And so as they're going into that, your patience is going to be huge. It's going to be a huge gift. And as you go into those conversations, be sure to then, as you've written those down, then guide them towards managing that. Say, hey, your brain is on fire and I can see it, and I want to help you with that. Can I help you manage that well? I think of many athletes that struggle with this and lose their brain in the middle of a game. And when they learn this skill, they become better athletes. That mental game for an athlete is kind of that last piece that takes them into excellence in their athletics. If you see your teen that's an athlete struggling with this, or an academic teen that's struggling with this anger, know that there's something bigger at stake there. Understand that. Is it love from others? Is it acceptance, affirmation? Explore that. And as you do that, guide them. Hey, if you're wanting to guide them in that, and ask them, why is that so important to you? And continue the conversation. And then the last thing here is model what it means to be self-regulated. Maybe this is a time to take inventory. Do you struggle with anger? Do you struggle with your strong emotional response? And if you have, maybe it's time to repair some things with your teen. Look at this as a bridge where you tell them, hey, you know what, I've come at you pretty spicy. I've come at you in a way that has probably hurt you. I've been reactive. I'm working on that, and I'd love for us to repair this. So in that case, or if you feel stuck, know that there are counselors waiting to help you. I help a lot of families in this last 2 decades. This has been one of the bigger topics that I've been on a journey with families on. So know that we have a counseling line here at Focus on the Family. You can have a consultation with one of our counselors here. They're professional psychologists, counselors, family therapists, and they're waiting to talk to you. You can talk to them 20, 30, 40 minutes, whatever's needed. And then phone number will be in the description below. Also, we have an article for you in the description below, and it's on this very topic, how to help your teen with anger. Be sure to like this video, and if you want more content like this, subscribe to the channel. We don't want you to miss any videos, and we love having you a part of the community. And we love hearing your comments. Let us know one takeaway from this video, and I'll see you again next time.